You're right, guys. Welcome to Football and Fitness United. My name's James. I'm here with Lloyd. Lloyd messaged me off Twitter and basically was like, "Let's chat about the game." So let's go on and do that. Lloyd, first reactions, mate. What do you think today?
Well, I thought overall, I think there's lessons to take away from today, but it's going to be one of those seasons I think where there's going to be a lot of highs and a lot of lows. So you just have to take it as they come. I think there needs to be changes for the game midweek coming, and I don't know. I just think that you just have to sort of sometimes put your hands up and say you were the worst team on the day, and Haaland's he's on another level.
We will touch on that. So you said just to pick up on something you said changes midweek. The lineup today, what did you think of it? Did you agree with it? Right decision by Ten Hag or not?
Yeah, I think it was the right decision for the lineup today, but you could sort of see that this form of some of the players that have been playing was going to drop off. And I think that when you have Casemiro on the bench, Martial on the bench, and Ronaldo on the bench, who are not really getting minutes at the moment, it's hard to just keep them on the bench for a long period of time. So I think that McTominay's place is sort of up for grabs in the team. Same with the striker position. Rashford at number 9 hasn't really been the same as he is out on the left. So I think Martial or Ronaldo have to grab that position up front. And I think in midfield, someone has to come in. You could see when Casemiro came on, he sort of changed the game and we're a lot more solid.
He did, yeah. A lot of people have been clambering for Casemiro to start, but at the end of the day, like Scott's not really been in droppable form for United, at least domestically anyway. I know we were chatting before and you mentioned performances during the international break for McTominay, not particularly great, but you've got to agree for the previous 4 games in the United shirt, he was pretty good, right?
Yeah, I agree, 100%. I think that's why it was the right decision to start him today, but he has got weaknesses in his games. I think he's one of these players that when everything's going right around him, he's easy to do right things. But when stuff starts becoming a bit more difficult and there starts to become a lot more pressure on the back four, he becomes a bit missing sometimes in games. A lot of the times when the 2 centre halves had the ball, he wasn't creating an option to play out. So I just think this is the biggest weakness in his game. If you could sort this, he'd definitely be in contention to start more games in the future. But I think when you have 5-time Champion League winner Casemiro on your bench, it's hard to put McTominay in.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Ten Hag does because we've got a tough run of fixtures coming up, so we're going to need a squad. But, you know, you have highs and lows in football as a player, unless you're some kind of robotic freak like Erling Haaland. Talk to me about his performance today.
Well, he's just another level, to be honest. He's unreal. I think coming into the season, at the start of the season, it was sort of easy to say, oh, well, he's going to be good. But I don't think anyone expected him to be this good. 3 hat tricks in 3 games. It's unbelievable. I actually didn't think Martinez was that poor against him today. But he just, when their striker scores 3 goals, your centre backs sort of have to take some blame.
I mean, what, 3 goals, 2 assists? Like, the guy's an absolute cheat code, right? He's absolutely unbelievable. And people that haven't rated him or are shocked by what he's going to do, I put a tweet out before and I basically said, you know, you look at Van Nistelrooy, Henry, Drogba, Rooney, all these greats of the Premier League, Shearer, Harry Kane. He's going to be right up there if he stays at Man City, man. And not only that, I think he could top the lot. I really do think we're looking at a very, very special striker who could go down. He could go down as the all-time greatest striker in the Premier League. And that's me as a United fan. I hate to say that, but he's that good.
Yeah, 100% agree. I think it's crazy the amount of statistics he puts up. But he's one of those players where in the first 20 minutes, he wasn't really in the game. And then just 3 goals just absolutely killed the game off. He just knows how to sort of be there in the right moments. But I think he's got the players around him with De Bruyne as well. I've rated De Bruyne, even as a Man United fan, I've rated him for so long. He's unbelievable midfielder. You look at sort of top midfielders in the world, and no one, apart from maybe Modric, comes close to what De Bruyne can do. And when you've got a striker like Haaland, who's just a freak in the air, quick, strong, technical, footballing IQ, you can't really sort of fault Haaland's game. They're going to get goals wherever they go.
It's a weird one because when we can have discussions about like Cristiano Ronaldo at Manchester United, and a lot of people don't think it can work. And I'm like, it potentially could work if he tries to model his game like Haaland does. Like if he stays up there and doesn't get involved, then maybe he can do that. But he wants to get involved too much, and it's almost like he doesn't trust the players around him to deliver the ball. Whereas you touched on Haaland there, he can trust your Fodens, he can trust the De Bruynes, he can trust the Cancelos that he'll make that run and he'll get the ball. And like, because Ronaldo is one of the best finishers the world's ever seen. And it's like, if you put him in and around the 18-yard box, he'll score, but he gets bored halfway through games. So he drops back. And so let's move on to Manchester United because it's the United channel, not a City one. So any single positives from today? Any?
I think there was a few sort of positives from the game. I think Antony as a whole played all right. First half he was kind of missing, but the whole team was missing first half. Second half he sort of came into the game. You could see what he brings to Man United. He's exciting to watch. He's good, and what a finish! What an absolute strike! It makes me happy that he's at Man United because he's one of these players where we had a lot of wide players that are so direct. He can take the ball, he can cut inside, he can create as well, and he's completely opposite from Sancho, who's very good in possession. Anthony's just flair all around. He's
I'll tell
very
you what.
good.
I'll tell you what that goal reminded me of, and you'll probably remember it as a Scotsman quite well. But when we got battered 6-1 in the derby, Darren Fletcher scored a screamer. We were 3-0 down at that point, and Darren Fletcher laid it off, got a 1-2, and bent one in the top corner. And I was like, "Where's he pulled that from?" Again, another class goal that meant nothing at the time. But aside from Anthony, any other positives, or were generally the team quite poor?
I think Martial, when he came on, sort of changed the game, and Casemiro changed the game when they both came on. I thought there's positives to take away from there. The Varane Martinez partnership looked all right again, but I was a little bit disappointed with how the lack of aggression from Martinez. He's usually a lot more aggressive, but when I think that's your solid centre backs, I think that's a positive that you can take away. When Lindelof came on, it just didn't look right. De Gea as well. I thought can't really fault him for any of the goals. I was looking and I seen that someone gave him like a 2.2 rate on some website, and I thought that's absolutely shocking. Did they even watch the game? I didn't think he was at fault for any of the goals.
No.
But second half, we sort of came into the game a bit more. We looked a bit more dangerous. The changes that Ten Hag made were the right changes, but you can sit here and say you were disappointed that he didn't make them earlier, but it's hard to make 3 or 4 changes before half time that changed the game. It's a bit has to sort of stick with the starting team.
Yeah, listen, they are the hardest team in the world to go 1-0 down against because they're just going to keep the ball, and then you try and attack, you try and get on the pitch, and they've just got all the weapons to exploit that. You touched on obviously Varane and Martinez, and we know we've kind of been praying for a while that those centre backs would stay fit, and Varane ended up going off with an injury. And I look on social media over the past couple of days, and there was people celebrating Maguire's injury and stuff. And it's like, you may not like him, but this is a squad game, and if history teaches us anything, it's that Varane is probably going to get injured at some point. So we need a squad. We need a selection of centre backs, right? Do we need Maguire? Do we need Lindelof? Like how do you see it?
I think that you do need a selection of centre backs, but Maguire, I'm not too sold on. Watching his performances over the last few years, and even sort of with England and the international break just there, I think he's sort of a detriment to the club, even if he's not a bad player. I just think that this whole attitude around him and his mentality is, I don't know if it's beyond the point of repair, but it's definitely nearing that. But Varane is definitely injury prone. You've seen over last season and the last few years, he can pick up a few injuries over the season. And I think it was a sort of a mistake to get rid of some of the centre backs that we had, like Bailly, letting him go. I think he would have been a good sort of backup. And I just don't understand why he's not given Tuanzebe a chance before this. I think that he would have been brilliant as someone to bring on in this sort of game. He's quick, strong. So yeah, I think we do sort of need the rotation, and I can see Maguire getting minutes this season, but I don't think he's sort of the solution to the problem. But you can't just go and spend 50 million on another centre back just now.
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? I think, strangely enough, I mean, he's injured at the moment, but Maguire's best attribute is his availability, right? He's almost always available for selection. That's his positive. And the thing about Man United is, until we sold Bailly and let Tuanzebe go, we have numerous centre backs but so many of them are injury prone. That's why we need so many. So you've got Varane, you had Bailly, and you have Phil Jones. You've got 3 centre-backs there, but between them, they probably miss 50, 60 games a season through injury. So it's like, we're going to face struggles selection-wise. And I know we've got Chelsea coming up, we've got Spurs, we've got Newcastle, we've got Everton. We've got some tough games. We've got Europa League kicking back in. So it's going to be a struggle, but I don't want to keep you any longer, mate. But do you want to give yourself a plug? Have you got a channel? Do you have like YouTube, Twitter, anything like that before you go?
I have my Twitter. It's at Freecant. Apart from that, not really any plugs. I just had to come on here and sort of give my opinion because I don't know. I'm just trying to get more into the Man United sort of community scene and try and get my name out there. So thanks for having me.
No problem at all, man. I'm all about that. Like, I've done numerous things with numerous channels, and at the end of the day, like, I put a tweet out, said if anyone wants to come on and chat, then do it, and that's what Lloyd did. So yeah, anyone wants to come on and give their feedback on the performance today and chat Man United, I'm more than happy to do it. But I've been James, that's been Lloyd, this has been Football and Fitness United, and we'll see you next time. Cheers, guys.